What's going on, guys? It's Justice here and welcome to a new video. In this video I'm just going to discuss about Solak, my thoughts around it and how I feel like it's opening new doors to PvMing for RuneScape 3. Firstly, let's talk about accuracy with Solak. We seem to have a very high accuracy, if not close to 100%, except for on the roots in phase 1 within the Solak fight. And this has completely changed the way PvM feels, really. It's actually really refreshing just to know that every single time you're going to cast an ability, you can predict with your ability rotations approximately how much damage you're going to deal, except for you can't determine whether your ability is going to crit or not. But that's absolutely fine, because I personally, with an MMO, really like a critical hit chance in a game, where there is that chance where you could possibly hit a max hit with that ability. But at least now, when you're fighting Solak, you know that all of your abilities are actually going to deal some damage. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in the past, you know, with high-level PvM encounters such as Telos, when there's real pinnacle moments where you've got to do high burst damage, let's say, to get out of being tendrilled, where you've got to deal a certain amount of damage and reach that cap in order to be released, and certain moments like that where, I don't know, your wild magic might splash at the most inappropriate time. And to be honest, in general, you know, it's one of your main thresholds that you use, and when you use it, you want to be hitting it, otherwise it's just very frustrating because you just feel like you've wasted so much damage there. It's definitely a new field to PvMing and I like it, and I think it'd be nice to see if they carry on in this direction and strip away accuracy in the game. And with this boss fight in particular, what it's done is actually stripped away aura escape for this particular encounter, which, you know, is something I've complained about on the game for a long time. I don't know about you guys, again, just let me know your feedback below, but I personally don't like how Maniacal was literally the meta aura. You needed that aura in particular boss fights, otherwise you felt like there was just no point in being there. For example, at Telos, you know, the difference between runic accuracy and maniacal is absolutely huge when you start doing higher enraged kills, and it's just, you do not feel like going PvMing at all when you're off your aura. You know, you just feel restricted, and maybe you've got 15 minutes left, you can't chill and chat to your mates because you know you've got like 15 minutes left in your maniacal and you need to utilize like every single second of it. So that's gone now. You can actually have a bit of a breath now. You can breathe in between boss fights. You can relax a little bit in between boss fights. Take your time with banking if you want to do that. Or you can still keep going efficiently, you know, crazy and try and get as many kills in an hour as you can. However, what it's allowing you to do is change up the fight a little bit. Maybe use Vampirism. Vampirism more is actually feasible again, where you can heal now quite consistently over time with it, and you don't really, you know, you hardly need to eat at all now. So like if you take Vampirism, for example, but it just varies that boss fight up a little bit. Maybe you want to do some more damage, you want to do dark magic, and then your partner goes with a Mazrite aura, let's say. Maybe you want to use Supreme Invigorate because you can get that extra adren gain for P4, where you get that extra adren to do more burst damage within, let's say, a meta before going into the realm. So you've got different options now within PvM, and more options is better. You're not restricted to just using the meta best in slot aura anymore. To be honest, auras in general do, you know, the accuracy issue did take a lot of fun away from PvMing, and it did restrict a lot of people, and it put a lot of pressure in certain situations, and now it's just freed it up a little bit, but again, only for one encounter at the moment, which I'm really enjoying, and maybe they should carry on with this direction. I don't know, let me know your guys. This is just my opinion. I'm not going to say they should be doing this or that, you know, let me know your thoughts as well in the comment section on this. I just feel like removing accuracy for me personally has improved the gameplay for me and the fun aspect of PvMing, knowing that you can calculate, you know, how much damage you're going to be dealing now within a set rotation without accuracy influencing that. And I think they could, moving forward, you know, crit chance, maybe they could incorporate crit chance into armor builds, and then, you know, we have a higher chance then of dealing on max hit with abilities depending on what we wield. At the moment, our armor just gives us, let's say, flat damage bonuses if you use power armor. It doesn't have any influence on accuracy again, but if you strip away the accuracy issue, then maybe you could build in some crit chance opportunities. Again, I'm not sure whether that's involved in any of the armor pieces in the game right now, but again, just an idea. So what else? Moving away from accuracy or escape, let's move on to familiars. So obviously Mammoth came into spotlight again on release day because it gave you an extra 2 slots in your Bob familiar in order to carry more food, or for example, I put a couple of restores in my Mammoth and an extra replenishment pot, for example, because there were very long fights at the beginning when we didn't really know how to speed up the kills. And of course, the special with the Mammoth, if you use it, it means you can eat a piece of food from the summoning interface without losing adren. However, what it's also opened up the options for is, now that I've actually got used to base tanking, I'm actually now started taking a unicorn last night, and it's so satisfying using a unicorn at Solak. I never thought it would be, but it just took me back. The last time I used a unicorn was pre-EOC Bandos. So it's been years since these familiars have been used in high level PvM, and now we have a real motivation, and now we actually see a benefit from taking a varied setup. If you actually put a spirit cape into a comp cape, you do get actually more charges out of it. I think you can use 4 times across a full powered spec. But let's say you don't have that and you just got a standard gear. You can use 3 specs. It has a charge of 60. Each spec takes 20, and it heals me like 1.1k each time I use it. I just take 1 summoning potion, 1 summoning flask, and that'll allow me to recharge my spec bar in order for me to use it in situations where I do need maybe bigger heals at that particular moment in time. And it really changes the gameplay for me. Again, I just really enjoy using it. Just hitting that cast, seeing the unicorn help me out and go through the cast animation, and then just seeing me get healed 1.1k is actually really satisfying. And again, it just changes up the gameplay, keeps it fresh, and it's just pretty awesome how this new high-level boss fight that is actually quite difficult overall, especially in terms of if you're progressing through it, then, you know, it gives people different opportunities of mixing up the fight. And it's really fun. And the last thing, which I'll just touch on slightly, mechanics. Solak has brought into the game mechanics that we've never seen before. We've got extra action buttons that we can change and move about in our HUD interface, and that is an actual extra button that you can keybind if you want, but because we only use it 3 times within a fight, I just have it in like sort of the center of my screen, just above my action bar, in a really nice place, and you have to activate that in order to create a shield, a domed shield around you, which is called a blessing, and that will actually restrict damage incoming from one of the huge attacks that Solak does in Phase 2, where he just rains fire from the sky, and it's just so cool. Like the animation, it looks fantastic graphically, and it just adds another bit of gameplay to combat in RuneScape 3, and that'd be cool to see more of in high-level PvM boss fights. And then you've got the cleansing effect, where you build up stacks and you can actually remove those with the help of Merethiel. You've got transitions of going into a mind realm completely, where you can either switch between it, one of you go up, one of you stay down, or you can choose to both go into this mind realm in various parts of the fight throughout Phase 2, when you're taking out the central core, the blight core in the realm. I'm not sure what it's called, this big purple thing. And then in Phase 3, when you want to take out Erythor, if you want to do that, because it's been confirmed that the manifestations and the ads in Phase 4 will heal Solak less if you kill Erythor in Phase 3, and they will also damage the player less in the realm, but most people still don't do that. It's not really worth it at the moment. But yeah, overall, you've got those different sort of environmental effects in the fight now that are really mixing up PvM, and it's brought in a new way of PvMing, and it'd be nice to see that direction moving forward in new boss fights in the future as well. I think the teamwork that it provides, the coordination that is required to complete the boss fight, where people are talking to each other, and also this boss fight in particular probably is one where you are actually really checking your CDs. You're seeing when your ability is going to come off cooldown because you want to use it. For example, Cade. You're checking when that's going to come off CD. You're checking if your Acto reset your Cade in order for you to intercept your teammate again in order to mitigate more damage. So it's just really nice. And also you're looking in Phase 4 at how long your reflex lasting for, and as soon as that goes off, you're then activating your devotion. You're checking that for 10 seconds as soon as that runs out, unless you kill an ad, let's say, and it extends, but you're just watching that buff, and as soon as the timer runs out, you then go into your Cade, and it just adds that level of combat where this boss fight is actually giving you a need to really study your buffs and debuffs in a different way. And of course you can do that in previous boss fights. You know, I'd do that at Telos, checking my Devo timer, but this fight in particular, it just feels a bit different, where you're really managing in advance. Like you're waiting for your Cade to come off cooldown, it's got 15-20 seconds left, and then Solak's going to do a Beyblade, and you're going to have to Cade and intercept your teammate. You know that in 15 seconds your Cade's off cooldown, and you can go and use it. It just adds to the gameplay, and I think it's brilliant. And one last thing I do want to comment on is the audio, the game audio. The levels change dependent on the intensity of the boss fight, and I'm still playing RS with game audio on for Solak like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, and I'm still not bored of it. It's just balanced beautifully, and I would like to see more resource gone into this moving forward, just to add to the immersiveness of the boss encounters. I guess the next opportunity for this will be Elite Dungeons. and you've got professional voice actors who have came in and done the dialogue of the boss encounter, Amarethiel, and I think that's just incredible, and it definitely sets precedent for the future. And it really just adds to the whole sort of gameplay dynamic, because I'm listening out for what Solak is about to say in order to determine what attack is coming up, and I think that's fantastic, and it really adds a different level to the gameplay. So there you go, guys. There's me just talking about Solak and how I feel this is the boss fight has opened up new doors to PvMing for RuneScape 3. Let me know your thoughts down below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, a dislike if you didn't, and make sure to subscribe for future content. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.